product barcodes in a warehouse don't work. I'm Craig Collins, CEO of Granite WMS, and today I'm going to discuss the concept of license plating versus barcoding in the warehouse. I started in barcoding in 1986. In 1983, 3 years before I got into this industry, they had a hospital industry code, HIBC, and it was a new standard. Everyone was going to start using it. Today, 2023, we still can't get standardization of labeling in the hospital industry or the medical industry. So take a typical case of a carton of product arriving in a warehouse. It's medical products, so an expiry date and a batch number. On the outside carton, someone stuck a really nice product label. Product label talks about the wonders of the product, but the batch number is a tiny little number in the bottom corner. The expiry date is almost non-existent. It is there somewhere. You actually should open the box to check one of the individual items to get the expiry date. And the labeling is hopefully inadequate when it comes to labeling for operations in the warehouse. And the reason is because the marketing guys designed the label, not the warehouse manager or the efficiency experts in the warehouse. So how do we solve this? Well, there are standards. Let's not totally give up on the standards. GS1 has made great inroads with serial shipping container codes to start getting standardized labels. The problem is that the manufacturers, the guys packaging the products in China, are not complying. In the lighting industry, we can't even get them to put a UPC label on the correct products before they ship it in containers from the coast of China. So the reality is that we have a problem with identification of product in the warehouse. So what do? Well, we label on receiving. Now, if you're going to label on receiving, then let's use a license plate. So what is a license plate? In the Granite WMS system, we call it a tracking entity. And what that means is that we're tracking a unique pallet or carton or even a motor, and we print a label for it in receiving. It's not the UPC code. It's not the product barcode. What it is it's a unique tracking number, like a license plate for a car. And on there, we put the expiry date, the batch number, the manufacture date, the description, nice and big, the stock code even bigger. And by doing this, it means that the operators in the warehouse work with a standard labeling system. They know where the expiry date is, and they can see the product code very clearly. Now, a funny example is that I'm busy having an Alpha GTB 1977 restored, and we've got a terrible vibration on the drive shaft. So I'm personally not doing that. I don't have the skills to do this, but the guy who's working on it is an absolute genius. He really, really gets this stuff. So he goes and he orders special rubbers, spacers to get the drive shaft perfectly balanced. And he takes the car, puts it up on a rack, takes the whole drive shaft out, puts the new spacers in, fits it, the vibration's still there. And he goes and researches on the internet and can't figure out why we've got a vibration on the car. And the reason is because instead of a -1, they gave him a -2 spacer. And it's a tiny little piece of rubber. But he's now got to take the car, take the whole drive shaft out again. It's a whole day of labor to go and put it on because someone gave him the wrong piece of rubber. And the reason for that is because the two rubbers are almost identical. One's a /1, the other one's a /2. The picker couldn't see that there was a difference in the product. And good labeling would have solved that problem. In the medical industry, it is specifically clear. It took us days to label a new warehouse that we were busy taking on board. And the reason was that every box had to be opened to get the batch number of the individual product. It wasn't on the outside carton. So if you've got a problem in the warehouse with identification, if you've got small batch numbers, small part numbers, problems with expiry dates, the best way to deal with that is to label in receiving with a license plate or tracking entity. Now, a lot of WMS systems don't have labeling software built in. Granite WMS does. So speak to us about getting good, effective, operational, not marketing labels in the warehouse.